I'm here at Waihi Beach. My first paddle after Eddie's passing. And yeah, I'm just going to take a long paddle and just reflect and think of him. We'll see how much actually ends up on the video or not. But yeah, it's really beautiful here. High tide at the moment. We've had the offshore blowing for a few days, so there's very little swell. The swell here can vary from virtually nothing, even smaller than this, to a massive 3.5 meter swell, 4 meter swell coming in. So it's quite a contrast in conditions what you can get to. Yeah, let's see what happens. So the environment here is a little bit colder than South Africa, and yeah, as you can see, it's really beautiful. Hardly any litter around, which is really fantastic. The water's about 14 degrees, so like I said, it's a little bit nippy here. Yeah, so I didn't bring any water today. Eddie would be paddling without anything to drink. He used to do his almost 3-hour paddles now at mid-mark, without anything to drink. Really tough. And I think that's what all of us admired about Eddie, was just how good he looked at his age, and how he always was training and keeping going. Well, if we can all be as fit as he was at his age, that would be, that's kind of what we all aspire to. So I think he was a big encouragement to a lot of people. I'm getting so many messages from people who saw Eddie paddling at the dam, or I imagine the canoeing community, the older paddlers. There was never a time when Eddie wasn't around. He was always paddling at some point, and I imagine for a lot of people he's an inspiration to them. Yeah, anyway, I'll keep going. Beautiful little cove here. Don't want to come here when it's Arakawa Beach, kilometre and a bit, only a 15-minute paddle from Waihi Beach. Yeah, so again, just really pretty here. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna get a little bit of this wrong, with Eddie, with there being so many years ago, and I obviously remember most of the stuff I do remember is from when we knew Eddie. Anyway, so Eddie, yeah, I think he was difficult of hearing, and that basically meant that school was a bit tough for Eddie. So at the end of the day, Eddie only got a standard 9. Of course, the older generation, that's quite usual. So yeah, I was only till he was in his 40s did he actually have a year off, and the hearing in one ear got a lot better then, and then that obviously made things a whole lot easier. That said, obviously his hard of hearing made his love for sport. That's what probably made him really cherish his sports and wanting to live the way he did. Eddie's dad passed away when he was quite young. I think it was when he was 10. And then soon after that, I think the family moved to Durban. Didn't start canoeing till quite late in life, and then did quite well at soccer initially. So one classic story that has to be told about Eddie, and I think we'll all reflect on it quite well, is Eddie had run 9 comrades, and he had pretty much stopped playing soccer, I think, and he went back for a friendly game, and was about to score a goal, and the goalie dived for the ball, and his knee hit the goalie's head hit Eddie's knee. The small lower leg bone shot outside. Eddie had 3 screws to put it back in again. And doctors basically said that he'd never run again. So of course Eddie, being the person he is, incredible that he may have missed the next comrades. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously Des and people who were there and probably tells the story a lot better than I do. But Eddie, tough as he was, if it wasn't the next comrades, it was the following one that he then finished. And then after he'd done his 10, he went back and did his 11, and he got himself back in shape. So absolutely incredible. Yeah, so let's keep going. Splash Rock. It's a classic, hardly deep water further out to sea, and then the waves come crashing in here and splash up the rock. I've been here at like 1.7 meters when the waves are running 1.7, and I'll tell you the splash coming off these rocks here is like over 3 stories in the air. Very impressive. And at over 2 meters, there's waves pushing out from this rock face. Over a K&5 out to sea, you can still literally feel the waves. So it's really quite an incredible place. So I've spent a few good moments here. Boat Bay. I think it's called Boat Bay because you can't get here unless you have a boat. So Splash Rock is just around the corner there, where I've just come from, and obviously you've got K's without a beach basically. This is the sort of 10-meter little beach, which is gone now at high tide, but this would be my one refuge if I got stuck out here. So yeah, interesting piece of coastline. Yeah, so Eddie moved to Howick and started working at Samkal in '79, I think it was, and I think would have been well involved in the canoeing scene by then. So Eddie met my mom, might have been the January '81 doozy, and then yeah, we were married pretty quickly, and we basically moved. It must have been the year before that. Must have been the 1980 doozy, and yeah, so we moved in with Eddie in 81. I was in standard 1, and yeah, an adventurous time moving to Howick. Many trips to Midmar, and Eddie really encouraging and getting me going in the canoeing scene. And of course, that's where we shared a huge interest together. Yeah, you know, obviously every family goes through some tough times. You know, when Eddie had to change jobs, and yeah, things were sometimes tough, obviously. Yeah, and then my mom passed away when she was 61. Obviously that was quite hard on Eddie. But yeah, I mean, wow, you know, what a brilliant man. I'm here at Homanga Beach. So it's quite a calm day today. Normally, if the surf's over a meter, you won't see a soul, absolutely the whole paddle. There's an hour walk over, an hour there and back to Arakawa, the first beach. But to walk here, yeah, I think there's a car park 5 k's up, or maybe that's 4 k's up maybe. So this was also a sort of contact area, but also very isolated. Got some fishermen on the point there. A place called the Grassy Knob, actually. And yeah, people fishing there today with the good weather. A solid many hours walk to get there though. Yeah, so one story which I think has given me a lot of comfort is in the 80s. Eddie was paddling with my mom and Roland Jones, Kenny Holden, and they were paddling down the Umzinkulu, and which was running quite full then, and they, albeit badly, decided to shoot the second weir on the Umzinkulu section there in Underberg, and Eddie drowned in the weir, basically, in the backwash after the weir. So he had his life jacket on and couldn't get out. He couldn't swim out of the wash, basically, and obviously that weir is quite notorious for that. So when he lost consciousness, he floated out. His body eventually floated out, and my mom and the three of them jumped in and pulled him out. and gave him mouth to mouth, and I think it took about 20 minutes for Eddie to come around. So, you know, he's often joked and often told me, you know, of that moment when he let go and he found peace, and he was just completely happy. He's often told me, oh, he was completely happy when he just let go and that happened. So I take a lot of comfort in that. You know, I know if he went a similar way now, you know, it would have been a lot easier for him. He would have known what was coming. Obviously there might have been more churt than that, but anyway, it just gives me a lot of comfort to know that. The stories I could tell about Eddie and his paddling, and the hours we've shared together on the water, has just been incredible. Eddie and I did a non-stop doozy together when he was 61, and wow, to be 61 and to be able to finish the non-stop doozy. And yeah, I mean, I think we were lying about 8th, if I'm not mistaken, when we took a 10-minute rest at the dam. Literally stopped for 10-15 minutes at the dam, and ended up, I think, 15th in the end. But literally 15 minutes quick and we would have been 8th, and just to achieve that at 61 is just incredible, you know. Yeah, so I'm extremely proud. Another notable thing about his career was the Ironman triathlon that he did really well at when he was in his early 40s. He won the Masters section, I think, three years in a row in that Ironman triathlon up in Joburg. Absolute epic race, either 21 to 28 k's paddle, over 100 cycle, and a state marathon run at the end. I was just a little boy and was running next to him with a bucket, seconding him. It was an incredible time. And then, of course, what would it be without the story of the Umco and all the Umcos I did with Eddie? They were fantastic. They really were. I know every single time we made it through 5 and 6, it was absolutely screaming and pandemonium and thrill for going through there. It's absolutely incredible. Those are the moments that I will cherish the most. It was absolutely incredible. We did, however, take one swim through 5 and 6, which was also epic. Had a good few swims with number 1, but then also made it through number 1 unscathed many years too. So in the end, I did 17 Umco Masters with Eddie. Eddie did 20, I think. So yeah, would have loved to have come back and finish that up, and it was all set to when COVID hit. Flights got cancelled. So yeah, I guess that's how it goes. He was an incredible inspiration to many people. I chatted to so many people over the years saying, wow, is Eddie still paddling? Yes, he's still paddling today. He's still running. Oh, I think, you know, for him it just really kept him going. It was his love, his passion. He worked at Mgani Water at the purification plant as an operator, and that was 4 12-hour days on, and 4 12, and basically 4 days off, and that gave him lots of time to paddle and go to the dam and do what he loved to do. So I think retiring is quite easy for Eddie because he just carried on doing the same and didn't have to go to work. So yeah, it definitely was a special place. It's really fitting for him to be there. He was an absolute inspiration to all of us, and I think he'll live in a lot of people's memories
as that tough old man who just was incredible. And I miss you, Eddie. Another big thing about Eddie was his love to be with people. I think Howick will miss Eddie. There were so many families and people and shops and that Eddie used to visit over the years, and friendships that he had with a lot of the people. And he was the kind of person that would just turn up at a shop or at somebody's house and say hello. And yeah, I think I often used to hear stories about this person and that person and whoever he was visiting at the time. And yeah, so I think there's going to be a lot of people at Howick that'll miss Eddie, and a lot of people who knew him and friends with him. So yes, we can all cherish those times that we were with him. Yeah, so I know that a lot of people will